5:33. All right, welcome everybody to the Hopkinton Select Board meeting on Tuesday, October 12th. I'm Sabrina Diplomat. We have Ken Trom, Stephen Whitley, Anna Wells, and maybe Jeff Donahoe will be joining us via telephone, but he's not here yet. So first up is points of pride.
Sure. I just wanted to highlight that the department heads have been working hard on their budgets as they come in and ask questions and things. They're due in this Friday, so this is the last week. Also, the transfer station crew, who has been working really hard, short-staffed for a very long time, trying to keep everything going and keep up with everything. And a reminder that this coming Saturday and Sunday, it's the 15th and the 16th at 1 o'clock is the Clement Hill Cemetery Walk. Had a sneak preview, dress rehearsal on Sunday, and it looks very good.
Nice.
It should be well worth going, and the weather looks okay. It looks like it should be pretty warm and nice.
Nice.
So I would encourage everyone to come and learn a lot about that side of town.
Yeah.
Still Clement Hill, Cloughville, and Joe Sylvia Lake, named after Joe and Sylvia Clough.
And there will be a video of those who can't make it.
Yes, Bob Lepre has put up a trailer that he filmed on Sunday. To see, and we'll be filming.
Nice.
We'll be filming the whole thing.
And it's Saturday and Sunday, right?
It's Saturday and Sunday,
16th and 17th.
the 16th and 17th, and tickets I think are available on the Hopkinton Historical Society website.
Great. Nice.
Is it like kid appropriate?
Oh, I would, yeah.
It is.
Okay.
I think it is.
There's some hesitation.
I think it's family friendly. I think it's family friendly.
Yeah. There's one soldier who was rape and murder, but that's not the only mention
Okay,
there. Everything else is pretty.
good to know.
It's always one.
That's Neil's part.
I was just gonna ask,
Oh.
I'm actually a thief.
give
Oh.
away who you are.
I've got a couple. I just wanted to thank Dan Blanchett and the rest of his team for giving us a great tour. Is that last week? Yeah, last week. They manage so much, and they have the wild card of weather all the time. And I know Dan does such a great job, and his entire team does, keeping our roads safe and everything else they do. So I just wanted to say thank you to them. It was really great to get a tour and hear more about their day-to-day. And the other thing is, yesterday, Ken and I had the pleasure of going to an Indigenous Peoples Day event that was in Warner at the Mount Kearsarge Indian Museum. And there were a couple of people from the Abenaki tribe who live in Hopkinton. Well, one at least lives in Hopkinton who was there, but people who work on the Abenaki Trails project were there. And Sarah Pacino, our town moderator, spoke about the process of changing Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day in Hopkinton. It was really great to hear her speak about it. And I've never been there. It is a stunning piece of, it's like 10 acres or something, more than 10 acres. Really beautiful spot. I didn't have a chance to go in the museum, but I definitely am going to go back. And just wanted to thank the Abenaki people who have been working so hard on the Abenaki Trails project and just raising awareness. And it was a really wonderful event. So Ken, I don't know if you want to.
Sure, you stole the two things I was going to talk about. And certainly like to thank Dan and the rest of his team. They do great work, and they have for years. And just also on the celebration at the Indian Museum, I'd like to thank Sarah for the words she gave with regards to Hopkinton's participation in Indigenous Peoples Day. And there had been a suggestion made by one of the speakers about adding a plaque to our welcome to Hopkinton signs saying something as much in the Abenaki language, putting it on maybe a piece of wood and carving it in. And I would think this might make a wonderful scout project. I'll give this to you, Neil. And if have any contact with the Scoutmaster, or if anybody knows a boy or girl Scoutmaster in town, pass that thought on.
There are no welcome to Hopkinton signs.
I was
There,
there about that.
Welcome
the
to
Kentucky.
Okay,
Yeah.
precinct commissioners in Hopkinton are looking at them, so that might be.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Pass it on to them too.
okay, great.
Yeah, they suggested Warner, Henniker, Hopkinton, and a couple others that they were trying to get these welcome signs in. And there, I can't remember it now off the top of my head, but it was such an interesting description of Kentucky, and I'm blanking on like what the actual Abenaki word is, but it originally meant like not river or something. Did you catch
I
that?
thought it was beech trees.
Right, and then it was Sherry Gould who was explaining this, and she's involved in the Abenaki Trails project, that it was like butternut tree. or
Butternut
something.
tree,
But
thank you.
anyway, I'm obviously botching the description of it, but it was fascinating, and just, there's so much history and so much to learn, and I thought this was a lovely idea.
And certainly this land was here before the settlers came, and so it's only appropriate to recognize the Abenaki.
Daryl Peasley, who's part of the Abenaki Trail, brought in a flag that we still on.
Yes,
That we flew for Indigenous people.
Oh, great.
right. And
Great.
he was one of the speakers
Yeah.
yesterday. That's all I have.
Any other points of pride? All right, we have, I think, like a record-setting number of minutes. So we'll start with the consent agenda.
Sure, I'll move we approve the consent agenda of October 12th, 2021.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approval of the public meeting minutes from September 27th, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Do we have to do a roll call vote for approving non-public or just to go? Okay, good. All right, so, approval of non-public meeting minutes, September 27th, session 1.
I'll move and note those minutes are sealed.
I will second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Approval of non-public meeting minutes, September 27th, session 2.
I'll move and note they are not sealed.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Approval of non-public meeting minutes, September 27th, session 3.
So moved and also note they're not sealed.
I will second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Approval of non-public meeting minutes, September 27th, session 4.
Again, so moved and note they're not sealed.
I will second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, approval of the public meeting minutes of October 4th, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And approval of the non-public meeting minutes of October 4th, 2021.
I'll move and again note they're not sealed.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approval of the public meeting minutes of October 5th, 2021.
And finally, move.
I will second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Excellent. Okay, thank you. So no public appointments. So next up, we have old business, which is Pennacook Road Speed update.
Yes, you had talked about this, and the chief will be here tonight, although I see Martin King is on, so I hate to hold
Oh,
him up. So the real question is for the chief to give his input, and then whether you want to go to a public hearing to lower that speed from 30 to 25.
mhm. Okay. Well, so perhaps we can see if Martin wants to make a comment right now, but otherwise, I think it'd be helpful to wait and hear from Chief Pecora. All right.
Hi there, yeah, this is Martin. Yeah, thanks for raising this. I'm happy to wait. So you're saying the chief will be in this meeting later tonight?
Yeah, I think he'll be here pretty soon, hopefully. So.
Yeah, I'll wait. No problem. Thanks.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up is new business year-to-date financials.
So you have those with an explanation, no real change. Last month, we did put in, cut the check, we have not sent it yet, the Fairpoint settlement check, so that appeared in the budget, just so when we ended the quarter. For the most part, no big changes from where we were last. We're still watching things very closely, but if it didn't snow until late.
Thank you for the write-up, Neil. It reduced the number of questions and then asked.
That's why we do it.
Yes. I don't. The American Rescue Plan dollars, they're not accounted for here.
They're not. They don't show in the budget because they're totally separate.
And under solid waste, you said in reviewing this line, there's a little of 7,000 in lab testing. I don't know what if the wording meant. Was it 7,000, just under 7,000?
The
4325.
So solid waste, we were testing for PFAS and that, which is what was over. And then in reviewing it, and actually Sam from the sewer department came and said, I haven't gotten a bill for all my testing. And I said, we already paid it. So that will get transferred to the sewer department, the $7,000 bill. So that will bring the solid waste in line with budget and get that correctly. We added what it is the testing, and the reason the confusion happened is we added, it's either last year or 2 years, it's 2 years ago, the test wells around the sewer plant that were required by DES when they followed up on their 1996 letter. That they had kind of forgotten. So Novus, who does the testing at the transfer station, is doing all the testing there. So
My question was simply, is it basically $7,000?
yes,
And I take it this, well, probably next month we'll be seeing the payment to Chief Pecora.
yes,
You're thinking that's in the near 100,000 or thereabouts?
yes. We'll have to figure that out.
And the last thing was on the revenues, the flood control. Do you have any more information on that?
Checking with the state, I think it all has to do with the assessments and where they fell and the equalization rates. They're always lagging, so this was the catch up of the revalue.
So you think that this may be all we're getting?
I think it is, but we've asked for a better explanation as to exactly why that changed.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
It was fully funded in the state budget, so we should be getting our full share.
Our share has gone.
I think
down.
our share, yes.
Thank you for the summary, narrative summary, Neil, on the year-to-date financials. Anyone else have anything on that? Okay, so next up under new business is items for the joint school board select board meeting on 10/26. Do we have items or are we supposed to come up with?
I know we have fields
Yep.
and everything connected with that. Are there other items? I'd like to make sure it's annual meeting dates are usually there, although it sounds like they had already set.
Yeah, maybe we can talk about process and that usually we discuss with each other before we set dates.
Were we also going to discuss the fairgrounds and the use of that by the athletic teams?
We could.
Yeah, I did connect with Jim on that, but I think it's probably worth just establishing who like the main point of contact is going to be for schools, so that the care people aren't having to deal with lots of different coaches. I think that's a worthy topic of discussion.
Depending on what happens, at the budget committee tomorrow may want to discuss if there should be an increase in the assessments.
Oh, that was the
So
other
that
thing.
they're both consistent.
Yeah,
No matter what it is, it kind of makes sense for everyone to be using the same number.
Right.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
totally agree. And so did the budget committee last year, the school system.
Yeah.
is it going to be here?
It's at
In the
High school?
Hopkinton High School.
Right, in the auditorium. Right.
So,
So basically, it's a school board meeting where we are guests. Like, is Jim
it's
gonna
a
be?
joint meeting and then with a separate agenda, and then they go and do their own meeting. So
I can't remember in years past, like, who actually
Ran.
runs the agenda.
it has been, when we first started, and for a number of years, it was either the town or the school moderator.
Oh,
And the two chairs kind of worked it out
Okay.
after that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, when we first, and then it was hard for the moderator, both Bruce had done it as the town moderator and James had done it as the school moderator. But recent years, it's been the two chairs who've worked it out.
I'll touch base with Jim.
And the moderators are both invited to this meeting, right? Are they?
We certainly could invite them, they know about it, but they didn't, other than sort of when they ran the meeting, didn't really. They were sort of brought in as neutral parties, so I think it was kind of decided there wasn't really need for neutral parties.
Okay. Is it at 5:30? I'm sorry.
5:30.
What's the date?
26.
It's the Tuesday.
Yes,
So we have a meeting
26th.
that Monday, right?
the 25th.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
And the expectation is that
Yeah.
probably less than an hour or less for the joint session.
Okay.
And we do always talk about budget drivers coming up, if
Mhm.
there's any major things coming up. So
Yep.
I know in conversation with Mike Flynn, they also want to talk more about that so that we're not asking for things basically at the same time. So there's
Right.
more overall.
So that would really, you'd want to look at both of our CIPs side by side.
Right, and the CIP
Looking out.
is doing that, and the school has submitted quite a bit of information, so
Right. I know they've been working on getting that up and running.
up and.
Them, yeah.
So they've used some of our format and
Yeah.
kind of
Great.
I think they're trying to do the same thing. We do 20 years, but you get the CIP committee looks at 6 years by statute, so, and those are much more firmer. You're kind of just using for planning.
Right.
Not-
Right. Good.
We talk about collaboration, although I don't think we have anything new that we've been collaborating on.
Mhm.
If for no other reason because of COVID. We all kind of have been in our.
Is is there anything to talk about George's Park? Or is that just sort of like a standing
I think that would be kind of a
Conversation.
field discussion.
Fields.
field?
Park.
That's,
Yeah.
yeah. That's right. So it's fields, but it's a little bit more than that too.
Yeah. Yeah. Sports stuff, I would say.
Yeah, and like, the whole big plan that's out there and,
Yeah, we should.
talking about maybe collaborating a little bit more on the
Yeah.
planning side too,
Right.
if appropriate.
Right now, the CIP plan includes phasing that in And I think the big question mark is the track, which is quite a ways out.
Right.
The talk about that had been 1/3 town, 1/3 school,
Yeah.
1/3
Fundraising.
donation.
Right.
I think that's still far enough out that it would need to be a lot clearer.
Yeah.
That's certainly not set in stone.
Right.
It's just
Right.
in the.
It's an idea. It's an idea.
Of course, you have that handy.
I have it handy for the budget,
Okay.
but since we're talking about this. Yeah, I think that where the CIP committee, left things after the last year for this coming year, it looks okay, other than the bond payments, it looks fairly level. I think it's the bond payments that are the big hit.
Actually, it looks almost like everything else drops by $1,000.
That's pretty level.
The bond payments, because we knew the bond payments, because of the refinance of the added rate bond were going up. That's probably that.
And that's 450,000 or thereabouts.
The increase is less than that. The increase is 289,000. Don't use last year. I just did this year. so
Okay,
don't-
good. You can give
That
me
was
this
a
year's.
long time ago.
All right, well, I guess if we have anything else that comes to mind, we'll let you know, Neil. Okay, so next up is town administrator updates.
Sure. Most of last week I spent going to select board meetings. It's after.
Sounds right. Yeah.
So I'm working on the deeded properties, making sure between getting firm agreements or really taking those over and getting those set. Everything is signed and has gone to the registry, so they should probably have it by now, so we should be getting them back soon. As I said, everybody, all of us are working on budgets, which are due this week. So next week, I begin meeting with all the department heads to go through budgets. There is the Eagle Scout project going on, putting the trail at Houston Park from really from field 2 around to what's called field 5, which is the unused area. And that's going well. One of the abutters had concerns that it was going too close to the property line or maybe over. Ron Cohen Marzik went out and re-looked at it, remarked all the boundaries. We have a good survey. He and I actually walked it again this morning. And so it looks like it's good, but I'll be contacting, going back to talk to the abutter and work things out. There still is a tree buffer, so I think that should be fine, but we're trying to make sure everyone's happy with that. Every 5 years, public schools have to receive their health inspection. Since your last meeting, I did Maple Street School and I did Harold Martin School last week. And I would say the schools, I've never seen them in such clean and good shape. I just passed that on publicly that they really were good. I have to say, both of them were marked down for one thing. Neither of them had a no smoking sign, which is a state statute. Now, who thinks they're going to smoke in school? Nobody these days. But that is a requirement. And both of them put them up right away. They are fully compliant.
Oh, good.
They did a nice job. All in a day's work. I did a wedding this morning here. So we do that on occasion. People come in.
That's
It's a
fun.
beautiful day out under the trees.
You officiated the wedding? or-
Yeah, JP. So they'll get
That's
their
awesome.
license and
That's great.
Wow.
probably done 4 or 5 this year.
That's awesome.
It's a nice way to start the day.
So it was kind of, they arrange it and come and it's always fun to do. It's a pretty quick simple ceremony.
Nice.
Rotary can't meet at First Church because that's closed and have started meeting at the Slusher Center. They really like that. That seems to be working pretty well. And I think that is all my notes.
Thank you.
Good news.
So before we get to other, we have public comment. I don't know if the two who have joined us tonight would like to make a comment. You can raise your hand if you would like
Sounds
to.
like Martin wanted to wait until
Yeah,
she
yeah.
was here, but if Melissa, you have public comment, now's the time.
Oh, all right. Thank you
No
for joining
comments.
us. Such good townspeople to show up
Thanks
for our
for coming
meeting.
anyway. Appreciate it.
So for other, I have, just one, I saw an email about a municipal, I forget what it is, whatever. I don't know if it was it must be the municipal association event on like the federal money.
The
And
counties.
yes,
Yes, I saw that came out today.
okay, so I don't know if that's helpful at all, but
I've been trying to attend as many of those because I think as we all figure out together the best way.
yeah. So you will be able to make that thing?
Yes, it's on
Okay,
the 28th, I think, from
yeah,
12 to 1
okay.
for Merrimack County.
I was just curious, have we heard anything about the detour / I've been a little worried about speed on Dustin Road, just because I know that's not used to so much traffic, and I don't know if you've heard anything or.
I've had no calls for complaints.
Good, okay,
Comments I've seen of people are like, well, it's too bad this detour is here, but I'm really glad you're taking that.
They're
call.
fixing the.
They had to do a little more of the decking. A little further back, they found as they got in there. It won't change the time frame at all. We're still
Okay.
hoping it will be done before we have said it will be, but
okay.
it should not be at all later. So,
And the last thing, I know Anna and I have both gotten questions about this trick or treating. Last year, it was
I
discouraged
feel like we
everywhere.
neither sanctioned.
Right, we just
nor-
didn't sanction anything.
Yeah, I think
So people were free to do what they wanted, but I don't recall, like in most years, I feel like maybe the rec department does.
it's the
Something-
police chief who sets the trick or
Ah.
treat time.
Okay,
So
so
he's coming in, so.
we think he'll set the time, or they're like,
generally here it's the 31st. however,
Yeah.
it's health and
yeah, I think people were wondering if we were going to encourage or discourage it, but
Yeah.
did hear Dr. Fauci say.
I know.
trick or treating.
yeah,
So
that was nice.
The nice thing is it's outside
Yeah,
and you're not spending 10 or 15 minutes with somebody at their door. So,
right,
you
right.
know,
All right, well, we'll just check with more on that. Those were my others. Others.
I was just going to ask if you've been able to get a surveyor for the Horseshoe Tavern.
No, but we are getting closer. We're on their list. We're getting moved up on the list, so hopefully it's-
Could Ron Kamarzak do that?
he's not a
He's not, okay.
surveyor. He, yeah, he can walk boundaries, but he uses a survey, but he's not a licensed.
Is my memory right that we were prioritizing Horseshoe over Bates?
Yes,
Okay.
if we can only get one or the other, both of them are on the list.
Okay. And then have we found anything else or heard back about Kimball Cabins and trying to get a lease over that little?
We are working on that. Hopefully should have something.
Okay. And then I'm assuming that when we get into the budget process, we'll talk about ways to use our American Rescue Fund dollars.
Or just before that.
Okay, but that's the
Some
timeline
suggestions.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
To officially accept it.
okay. Thanks, Dale.
I'm there's lots of people who seem to have lots of ideas on how to.
Weird, yeah.
Anna, I guess I just have one question, which I'll ask just since we have time right now. So I have been meeting with some folks about like Riverway Park area and you know, sort of access to the river, upgrades in that area. And one question that has come up is about using public dollars to pave privately owned right of way. So it's a public right of way, but it's on private land. If that were going to be paved, would that be paid for by the private landowners, or would the town pay for that, or or is there some agreement, some combination? So for specifically thinking of, I think it's called Depot Lane.
Behind,
that's
behind the depot.
Yep, yep. So if folks have ideas or
And that is I'm remembering right, it's a right of way granted to the property owners over town land.
oh, is that the direction it goes?
I think because it accesses the parking for the mostly for the
For the,
apartments.
right. Oh, that's, let's
So-
look at the,
Think because
Okay,
the
maybe-
Riverway Association doesn't own much further back than where the car sits.
right.
And I think the rest is town, but
Okay.
we've looked at it a number of times. And
Is there, I mean, and to your question, I think that, I don't remember the agreement, but it maybe states in there
Right, about maintenance and,
who has the responsibility for stuff like that, and it
Yeah.
may even state, you know, if, who has the financial responsibility
right.
for improvements. I don't remember that being.
recollections,
Do-
there's nothing.
I don't think so, yeah. it's
Okay.
pretty
Do we
big.
have on hand a copy of the easements or whatever it is that are,
Yeah, we would have, yeah.
would you be able to pull that so we could,
And what would,
Look at
and if you, what would be the purpose of paving? Is it to make it public access easier, or make it easier for the private and commercial entities over there?
one of the main things would be to make it easier to plow in the winter, so that right now what's happening is all of the gravel is being pushed right into the park. And it's destroying the grass, 20 feet in.
Yeah.
So that would be one of the main reasons to consider paving it.
There is an easement on where the snow goes
Okay,
too. That's part of that.
and that's in that document too. Okay, that's helpful. Yeah, so if you don't mind pulling that and sharing that,
Sure.
it would be lovely. Yeah, you're right. So it's yeah. So it does look like it's right away granted to the town on private. Okay,
Anna, you're saying yes, I'm not sure what you're saying yes to.
sorry, that it looks like it is a right of way granted to the town on private land.
Ah,
Oh, so that's the part owned.
Because there's no town image, so in between the covered bridge gallery building and Brian Cressy's new office building, in between those two properties touch, and then there's a right of way. It's half and half on either side. And then,
And that goes from 127 back to behind those properties.
Yes, from Main Street, yep.
From Main Street, yeah.
And then, it doesn't show the rest of it on the back part, but then there's obviously multiple agreements, because then behind where the train car is, there's another 8-foot right of way that's on town property.
Yes, that's the one. Oh, I see, you're talking about the one between the buildings.
Yeah, and then also connecting on the covered bridge land to the town-owned portion. So it multiple ways of doing it.
Think for the town to expend funds, there would have to be a public interest, probably a written easement that the public could use it and.
Yeah. All right.
Hello?
Hello, it's Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
I'll make a motion that we allow Jeff to attend the meeting remotely.
I'll second.
And now we have to do roll call votes since he's. I'm a yes, Anna.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Steven.
Yes.
All right, Jeff, you're in.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Okay, now we're about to adjourn, Jeff.
Okay.
Almost. Okay.
All right, well, that's, if we have those on hand and you can pull.
There was a survey done. When that park was created.
Yes.
We have that.
Okay, that would be extremely helpful. Thank you very much.
So, I think what I suggest is perhaps we can just update Martin on our discussion with Chief Corps, unless he wants to wait around. But I think we could at least do a non-public perhaps.
Before 6:30?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Martin, if you're still with us, Chief Corps is not here, but we can, we're gonna try to do a non-public because we have 3. And then we can go back into public to discuss the road with him. And do we have Martin's yeah, he emailed us, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we could update you, Martin, if you don't want to hang around, because I don't know really what our timing will be on going back into public.
I can call Martin in the morning.
Okay. So hopefully he heard that.
I'll wait until we go to non-public.
So I think, yeah, so is everyone okay with that if we try to do
He
a,
says that's fine.
oh, good.
Thank you, Martin, for
Thanks,
your
Martin.
flexibility.
So I'm gonna suggest we go into a non-public, let's see. How about RSA 91A32C reputation?
Second?
Anna?
Yes.
Yes, Ken,
Yes.
Steven,
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna go into non-public and we're gonna shut everything down. The only business we'll discuss in public again is just about the speed limit on Pennacook, but I don't think we'll be back on Zoom for that.